Hello and welcome to a special edition of the Trucker's Table. This edition of the Trucker's Table is a special video called Get to Know YouTube Truckers. I was tagged in the video by Trucking Along with Kersey, and so that was 5 days ago, I think, maybe somewhere. So it took me longer to make the video because I had a real busy week running. And so I'm sorry it's taking me this long to get it out. But anyway, I wanted to go ahead and get it out there and let everybody see it and answer the questions. There's 10 questions you got to answer. I'm going to put a twist on it. So hopefully you'll like it. And at the end of the video, I'll tag someone and hopefully they'll keep it going. I love the idea. It's a great concept. All right, the very first question was, what was your first car? Now, there's two ways to answer that question. One is, what was the first car you owned? And what was the first car you bought? It doesn't specify, right? So, the first car that I owned was actually given to me by my grandfather. So it was a 1978 green two-door Ford Granada. I searched Google images for a green two-door Ford Granada and could not find one that looked similar to the one I drove. So I found one that looks identical to the one I had, but it's blue. So this is not my car, but it looked just like it. But just picture it being a light green color, like almost like a mint green. And that was my first car, a 1978 Ford Granada. But it was given to me. That's not the first car I bought. The first car I bought wasn't really a car. It was a motorcycle. The first vehicle that I ever bought with my own money was a motorcycle. A 1986 Honda Rebel limited edition 250. Yeah, it was small. It was a small motorcycle. Anyway, that's it right there. 1986 Honda Rebel limited edition motorcycle. That's the first vehicle I ever bought myself. I bought it from my best friend. We've been best friends since 2nd grade. I bought it from him. And so that was the first one I bought. The first one I owned was the Granada. So I just wanted to clarify that. I didn't know if there was if you had to say the first car you bought or the first one you actually owned. So I thought I'd do it that way. All right, let's move on to our next question. What did you do before trucking? Now, are you talking about from the age of 18 until I started trucking, or the very last job I had just before I started trucking? Let's hit the highlights. Because from the time I was 18 to the time I was 27 when I first started driving, I had a lot of jobs. My very first job out of high school was driving a forklift loading 18-wheelers. My next job of consequence, or what's that word I'm looking for? Substantial job, or whatever you want to call it, was the United States Army. Loved that job. That was an awesome job. I was a soldier in the United States Army. The job I had next, before I started this one, truck driving, was an assistant manager at a convenience store. And if you want to know where the convenience store is, it's probably one you might have seen before. It's right across the street from the Pilot truck stop in Marianna, Florida. You see the building, it's right next door to Pizza Hut. It's a blue and white building. It's an abandoned building. It's not being used anymore for anything. But back in the day when I worked there as an assistant manager, it was a yellow and white Shell station. And I was the assistant manager there. So next time you're in Marianna and you're getting ready to turn into the Pilot, look back over to your right, you see that blue and white building. That was the building I worked in. All right, next question. And I wish I had read the questions and got all my answers together beforehand, because I know there's got to be. Let me read the question. Favorite quote or quotes? Okay. Oh man, there's so many that come to mind. I'm a big Elvis fan. I love Elvis. So I don't know if it was a motto or if it was a quote, but it was TCB, taking care of business. I love taking care of business. Another quote is kind of a comical quote. It's called "Get her done." Another again, is that a motto or is that a quote? I don't know. I'm trying to think of an actual kind of quote. I just thought about it. Chocolate Myers, the gas man for Dale Earnhardt Sr. He's still the curator at the museum, the RCR Museum in Welcome, North Carolina. If you ever get a chance to get through Welcome, North Carolina to the RCR Museum, they do have room for you to pull your big truck in there and park if you want to go in there and check it out. Chocolate Myers has a famous quote, and I'm pretty sure it was him. Oh man, see, somebody else might have done this and he might have just picked it up. I don't know. But he has two quotes that I like. One is, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Right? If it was easy, everybody would do it. Meaning NASCAR, racing, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Truck driving, if it was easy, everybody would do it. And don't get me wrong, there's millions of truck drivers. But there's a lot of people that just aren't cut out for it, that can't do it. The other one that he does that I like is, and I'm pretty sure this came from him. I'll have to double check to make sure. But is, I don't know if it's the secret to me making it as far as I have in life or not, but I had to think about it and from listening to him. And so I'll say it. I'll say what he says. He got to where he is. Richard Childress got to where he is. A lot of these people, Dale Earnhardt Sr. got to where he is by having the 3Ds. The 3Ds. Desire, determination, dedication. Desire, dedication, determination. You got the 3Ds, you can make it. So I really like that. A lot of knowledge out of Chocolate Myers. You wouldn't think it, would you? But he's a pretty smart guy. If you ever get in there to the RCR Museum, tell him Robbie from Florida sent you. You'll know who you're talking about. So anyway, okay, so that's quotes. What is your favorite music? Country. I almost said Southern rock. Southern rock, country, kind of the same thing. But I love old school country music. I guarantee you, if I listen to the radio right now, I probably couldn't tell you half the people that are singing in country music genre right now. I just don't. I listen to old school country music. Hank Williams Jr. I love that man. I mean, I've been listening to him since I was a little boy. And he was my first concert. He was my last concert. Or was supposed to be my last concert. I didn't get to go because I was in the hospital. But Hank Jr., I love the man so much. A country boy can survive. How's that for a quote? Yeah. I love Hank Williams Jr. so much. I have his brand tattooed on me. Hank. And underneath it, it says, a country boy can survive. And we'll be back to this to answer when we answer one of the other questions. Okay. So yeah, definitely Hank Williams Jr. I've met him. I've seen him in concert so many times. Love his music. Love it. Love his outlook on life in general. Let's see. Who would you like to meet? Well, here again, how do you answer this question? If I'd never met Hank Williams Jr. before, he'd be at the top of my list. Then there's a lot of other people that I've met that if I had not met them before, those would be the people I'd want to meet. And I'm not trying to name drop, but I just want to give you an idea of some of the people that if I hadn't already met, I would love to meet. Richard Childress, Blake Shelton, the CEO of Landstar. Met him. But the Blake Shelton thing, to get back to that, right up here above the top, if you can see it, that's Blake Shelton's autograph. I met Blake Shelton in Panama City. He autographed my arm and I had it tattooed in. So yeah, I love Blake Shelton. So let's see. I've met Loretta Lynn. Met her when I was a little boy at a concert that she did with Hank Jr. down in Florida. Another person I would have loved to meet if I hadn't already. I mean, I didn't sit down and talk to her. Don't get me wrong. These ain't people that I sat down and had conversations with. So if the question's answered like that, then of course, I'd love to sit down and go fishing or hunting or something like that with Hank Jr. But as far as just actually introducing myself, hello, I'm so-and-so, meeting kind of people, yeah, I've met all those people. But right now, the one person I think I'd really love to meet that I've never met, and I know I'm going to catch a lot of flack on saying this, and I'll probably think of somebody different later, but right now I'd have to say, just because he is who he is, Donald Trump, the President of the United States. I've never met a sitting president before, and I would love to talk to him, just shake their hand, meet him, whatever, because it's the President of the United States. Would I say something to him about all the regulations that are killing us in trucking? I sure would. All right, so that's who I'd like to meet that I haven't already met. What kind of truck do you drive? I drive a Volvo, a 2014 Volvo VNL 780 with a D13 engine and an 12-speed I-shift automatic transmission. Yeah. And I do miss shifting gears. I used to love shifting gears. What do you like most about being a truck driver? All right, here again, I'm gonna put a little twist on this because I find it hard to answer this question. So I'm gonna answer it in two ways. I'm gonna answer it as the young me when he first started truck driving, and the old me now, today. All right, so the old me, what do you like most about being a truck driver? The freedom, the open window, seeing all the stuff there is out there to see. I remember the first time I saw the arch in St. Louis. I remember, some of the buildings when I was driving through places like Houston, Los Angeles, Chicago, all these places that I've only heard about. When I actually got to go there, it was amazing. Getting to see all this, stuff and see these places. And that's what I loved about truck driving, being able to see so much stuff. What do I love about trucking now as me at this age in my life, in this part of my life? I love meeting people. I love making friends. I love just getting to know different people that I would have never got to meet unless I was truck driving. I'll give you a good example. just this year alone, some of the people that I've met that I would have never met if it hadn't been for two things: truck driving and YouTube. And that's another thing I like about truck driving now, is getting to meet all these people through YouTube and as well as being truck driver. You know, these are people I've actually met, sat down, talked to, you know, had a meal with, stuff like that, you know. And, you know, like Anthony, Blackbeard, Pale Rider. I didn't eat with him, but we did hang out and talk for a while. Snow Lord, Steve Arrington. Steve, he has a YouTube channel, Snow Lord. All these guys have YouTube channels. Anthony, Blackbeard, Pale Rider, they all have YouTube channels. I'm trying to think. There's been some other people. I feel like I'm forgetting somebody. I know I am. But yeah, just getting to meet people and make new friends. That's what I love about truck driving right now, you know. What do you like least about being a truck driver? What I liked least about it as a young me was the fact that I couldn't drive faster. Because out in Texas, when I started driving, the speed limit was 55 at night, 60 in the daytime. I hated that. I hated not being able to drive more than however many hours it was on having to do a logbook and all that. I used to hate that. I was like, dadgummit, doctors, nurses, they work 12, 14 hours a day, or, you know, all these hours every week and everything else. How come they're not regulated heavier? I mean, I used to just hate it, you know. And that was the young me. The me now and today, the one thing I hate, and I'm just going to name off a couple things that I've heard people say, like the trash, the way truck drivers treat the environment, and those are bad things, but that's not at the top of my list, and those are really bad, don't get me wrong. But the one thing I hate most about truck driving right now, other than being away from my wife, I wish she was here with me. That's the biggest thing that I don't like about being a truck driver, is being gone from my family so much. I'd love to be home more. And don't get me wrong, I get home a decent amount, but I'd love to be home all the time, you know, or have my wife in the truck with me, you know, and both of us drive together. But other than that, I would say the one thing I hate most, and I don't know if anybody's even ever thought of this, GPS. I'm not talking about the GPS on my dash that gets me to where I need to go. That's that's awesome. You know, you need some, that's so much easier than back in the day when I used to do it. You had to call the people and get directions. You had to break out the map, you know, and try to find where you were going and stuff like that. So GPSs are awesome. But what I hate is GPS tracking. You're being tracked. They know where you are, when you're there, and how long you're there. Yeah. My ELD is sitting on my dash right now. If I move 15 feet, they know it. If I unplug that ELD from my truck and I unhook from that trailer, they don't know it. But as long as I'm hooked to that trailer, they know everywhere I go. They don't need that ELD on my thing because the trailer has GPS tracking on it. Yeah. So that's the one thing I hate. I hate someone tracking me, knowing where I'm at all times. Unless I want them to know. And I'll give you a good example. There's something called Life 360. And it's basically GPS tracking. But that's voluntarily doing it, and I can turn it off when I want to turn it off. I can't turn off the GPS tracking on that trailer. Or if I can, I don't know how. If you know how, please tell me. My wife, she knows where I'm at. She has me on Life 360. A lot of the guys I talked about earlier that I met through YouTube, they keep track of me on Life 360. That way, if we're in the same vicinity of each other, you know, hey man, I'm gonna be over. I see you're gonna be you're near this area. I'm gonna be there. You know, we'll meet up. You know, it's just so it's good and it's bad. You know, that's just one thing I don't like. I don't like forced GPS tracking. That, and I don't like ELD, electronic logs in general. That part of it I don't like. I miss paper logs, but paper logs wouldn't do me no good with a GPS tracker on that trailer. So as long as I have that GPS tracker, I need the ELD because it keeps better track of my time than I do. All right, sorry about getting way off on that. So anyway, what company do you work for? I'm leased on to Landstar, Enway. So that's who I work with. And there's 3 Landstars. There's Landstar Enway, Landstar Ranger, and Landstar Express America. So, and don't ask me to explain the differences between them. The only one I know is that Express America is expediting. Ranger and Enway are basically the same. Both do dry van, step deck, flatbed, all the different things that they do. So, what do you like most about your company? I love the flexibility of Landstar, being leased on with Landstar, and that's great. But I'd have to say the thing I love most about Landstar is the peace of mind. They take care of everything. The only thing I have to worry about is making sure my truck doesn't break down and paying my taxes. They take care of everything else. They have freight. I just have to pick where I load and go where I want to go. They take care of my permits, my tag. I pay my own insurance, but if I didn't want to do that, they would do that too. They just deduct it from my check. They take care of everything. DOT, you know, I mean, other than when I have to deal with them out here on the road, but as far as audits and all the other crap that you have to keep up with DOT and permits, and it's just so much stuff. They take care of all it. Everything, they take care of it. I don't have to. They cost me 35% of my revenue, but it's peace of mind, man. I love it. And here's the other peace of mind. If I break down, blower, I've had to replace the radiator already last year. But you know, anything major. I'll give you a good example. When I was with Landstar, I had a 2000 model International. I blew the engine in it, and they wanted like, I think, 16 grand to rebuild the engine. I didn't have $16,000, so I said, I'm just gonna buy another truck, because that one was already paid for. So I sold it, bought another truck. Excuse me. I bought a 2011 ProStar International. Piece of crap it turned out to be. But anyway, I needed some money for a down payment. Landstar loaned me money for a down payment. You know, I've had to have major work done on trucks before. They've loaned me money to do that. I need tires. I call them up. Hey, I need tires. I get an awesome discount. They deduct it straight out of my check. I don't have to worry about coming up with the money right then or this or that. They take care of all that. It's just peace of mind, man. I hear people all the time talking about getting your own authority. That's awesome. If it makes you happy and you want to do it, go do it. It's not my thing. I don't need my own authority. I have my name on the side of this truck. My name is on the side of this truck bigger than Landstar's name. Landstar's name is, my name, it takes up the whole door just about, you know, because it's my truck. I put on it what I want to put on it. The trucker's table, you've seen the side of my truck, all that's on there. And you see a little bitty thing of Landstar down at the bottom. It's good enough for me. I mean, I don't need to have my own authority, you know. So, You know, if I was younger, maybe that would be something I would think about doing. But to have that safety net, that peace of mind that Landstar gives me, I love it. it's great, you know. And so that's what I love most about my company. It's a great company. Oh, and another thing too, I got to throw this out there. If you, I don't think I've touched on this yet. Anyway, I'm doing a series on YouTube called My Trucking Life, Truth, Trucking, and Tribulation. It's been a while since I put out an episode. I'm going to do my very, very best to get one out by this weekend, because I'm going to be home for a couple of days, and I'm going to try to get it done. So this will be a spoiler for something that you're going to see in the upcoming video. When I was on at Landstar, I was in a tremendously bad, terrible wreck. Almost died. I barely escaped the burning truck seconds before I fell out from smoke inhalation. And some people got hurt. Not as bad as I got hurt. I got hurt worse than anybody. But there was another driver that broke an ankle, and another family that had some minor scratches when they hit the trailer. But nobody seriously injured other than myself. I had third-degree burns, smoke inhalation. I had to have skin graft, you know, so it was a really bad wreck. Now, I had just came off of a 34-hour reset, a break. I was well rested. It was a malfunction with the truck somehow or another. It just kind of, I'm driving down the road and all of a sudden it just veered this way. I don't know what happened, but anyway, not to get off on on the truck wreck, but anyway, when all this happened, there were lawsuits. Of course, the people that got injured, they sued. Well, they didn't sue me; they sued Landstar, because I didn't have the money Landstar has. Now, Landstar could have threw me under the bus and said, "Oh, well, he was doing this, or he was distracted, or he was tired." They didn't do any of that. They didn't throw me under the bus, not a drop. They stood beside me 100%. They paid for the lawyers. They paid to fly me out to Texas to do the deposition I had to give. They did everything. They kept me in the loop, what's going on. They stood beside me or behind me the whole way through all of it, and didn't throw me under the bus, you know, to try to save themselves. And that says a lot about them, I think, as a company. And I left the company after that accident. I just didn't know if I wanted to keep truck driving, you know. And but hey, when I did decide a few years later that I wanted to go try it again and go back over the road, that was my first call, you know. And if they hadn't took me back, I wouldn't have came back over the road, because that's the only company I wanted to work for. So, you know, I called them up and talked to them. Come on, man, let's go. I was like, all right. And that's how I got back. You know, I didn't know if they'd take me or not, because of all the lawsuits and everything else. I thought they'd be glad to get rid of me, but they wanted me to come back, and that says a lot about them. So that's what I love about my company. I think it's a great company. A lot of people say, "Oh, you just carrying water for Landstar." They don't pay me a dime more than what I make driving this truck. They don't pay me to talk about them on YouTube. They don't pay me. I don't give people my truck number or my information to try to get money from recruits or anything like that. If you go to Landstar and you want to put me down as a reference or anything like that, that's fine. I'll give you my information. But I'm not asking you to do that. And so I don't make any money off of anybody that goes to work for Landstar. I don't make any money off of talking about Landstar. I'm just truly grateful for this opportunity that I have with this company. And I really love the company. That's the truth. So that's what I love most about my company. So there, I've answered all 10 questions. Now I have to tag somebody in this video. So just to make sure somebody actually does it, I'm gonna tag 2 people. I'm gonna tag, and I hope they ain't already been tagged. If they have, let me know, and we'll go to the backup person that's probably hadn't been tagged. I'm gonna tag Red Monkey Trucking, which will be unique because it's a married couple, and Anthony Blackbeard. He's gonna kill me. Maybe not. Maybe he'll do it. Anyway, so those are the two that I'm gonna tag: Red Monkey Trucking and Anthony Blackbeard. Let's get to know them better. Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for letting me do this. Thank you, Kersey, for tagging me in it. I had a lot of fun doing it, and hope everybody enjoyed what I had to say. And I'm sorry that I've been rambling for 31 minutes. Dadgummit, I'm sorry. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. Y'all stay safe out there, and we'll talk at you again soon.